Beautiful and good welcome, good afternoon, everybody, guys. I'm not feeling super great this afternoon. My health is a little bit affected today. Actually was not going to end up doing this live session, but I want to push through with every single one of you. It seems that there's a bit of a bug I've got. Starts off okay in the morning and in the afternoons really hit. So just a massive welcome from our side to everybody that is with us. I can see Tepo in the house, heavily defended Leon, the daily money markets, Matlanta, Fabian, heavily defended Lucky, Troy, Tanya, and Fabian, as always, starting off the chat by saying whoever comments first get that first $250. Yeah, good try, well done on the try, good efforts. We will see, we will obviously have a look in the future. Okay, brilliant. Fabian's asking, are you doing ESCOM on us? Fabian, you were late this morning and you're late today with comments. I don't know what you are doing there with us, but let's just double check. I just want to confirm that we are live, we are streaming, and we do have a 2-second delay plus minus afternoon, so nice and healthy stream this afternoon. We are going to be doing some massive things. Guys, please tell me that you are still in your US30 buys from this morning. Please, just one person, tell me you're in your US30 buy from this morning. Please, I beg of you. I just want to see one person show me that they're in their buys from US30 this morning, right? Because we are in massive profits, right? I took a little bit of a nap. We had a ton of meetings throughout the day. I managed to lay down for 30 minutes. Woke up feeling way worse. I should have not done that. Yeah. Napping is not the best idea in the middle of the day when you're not feeling great. But in any event, we're about to have a massive day. So if you are in profits this morning, if you're still in your US30 buy this morning, if I can see one person that is still in the US30 buy, and you have a Globex 360 live account, let me know, because I'll do something crazy. People will take their profits. Why did you take your profits so early? Come on, guys. We spoke about if we break that level, we are breaking an all-time level. We're breaking a massive diagonal. So if I can see one person in US30 profits that's still in profits, and you can screenshot that to me, I'll do something very special for you. But I'm going to go ahead and just make the devil jealous and share my screenshot, because if you guys are in your US30 profits, that's what it looks like, right? That's what it looks like right there, right? There's on a 15-minute time frame. That's what we were discussing this morning in the session, and we spoke about the fact that if US30 can break out of that diagonal, right, we're on outside of that bear market structure, and we could potentially rally like absolutely nothing else. Now, if you are in that trade right now, remember my goal for the day was just to make $3,000 to $5,000, but we're currently running $2,500 in profit right now, and at the moment my profit for this session is currently sitting at just over $15,000. So you guys can do the maths. I'll bring up a calculator really quickly. But I believe we are, with the current exchange ratio, let's quickly bring it up, 15,000 by 18, where are we at? 1830, I believe, roundabout plus minus. So that's a cool 274,000 Rand for the morning, right? So we haven't even started the session yet. So if you are in your profits, you should be celebrating, because it means we killed NFP, we killed the PPI, we killed today. Let's see if we can do the same for the CPI. And this is the important thing of allowing some of your profits to run, right? I'm going to go ahead and adjust, and I'm going to lock in my profits around about $2,500. On this one, I'm going to lock it in at about $3,000, and I'm just going to keep them in that zone of about $3,000. So meaning if markets turn around, I still lock away about $9,000. So what does that mean? What can I do with that information, right? It means that I can take that $9,000, I can essentially go ahead and utilize a portion of that to open up new trades. So when I risk trades on US30 this afternoon for that CPI release, I can go ahead and risk $3,000 as a stop loss. And even if I'm wrong, I still bank a net positive over $6,000 for the day. That is what smart money does, and that's how smart trading works, right? So Mesh, specifically, if you're in a profit before a big release and it's in line with where we said we want to be and where we want to go, that's where you want to be, because then you can trade these high impact news events absolutely risk free. So I don't see anybody sending me, people took profits. Mackenzie's saying you went out because of TS. I think you meant TP, right? Oh, trailing stop. Okay, that's not too bad, Mackenzie. That's good. Fabian saying he took profits on US 30. You took profits on US 30. You didn't send me screenshots. It's like we're not part of the same family here, or we're part of some other, like, what's going on here, right? Nimpo saying Globix live. Ashad saying here for some massive pips. Nadir Dada saying hi. Ashad saying how's it? Woodside saying good afternoon, my big brother. Good afternoon, family. Okay, so let's dive into what we're here for today. I'm not feeling great, but I'm feeling a little less stressed because I've hit not only my daily target, but essentially I've covered myself for Friday as well as Monday. So if you see me going on holiday again on the weekend, you don't hear from me until Monday, just know why. That's going to be potentially the reason why. But anyway, what we're here for today is we're obviously here for the CPI data release. Now we're going to get this in 8 pieces, right? We're going to get CPI, right? And we're going to get core CPI. Now, what's the difference between CPI and core CPI? So CPI is a consumer price index that includes everything, right? It includes food, and includes energy, it includes all bills, all costs, all bills, and everything that a consumer can pay for. Core CPI removes those volatile items. So food and energy is removed from core CPI. However, core CPI, right, essentially is the object that inflation cannot, or how do I say, rising interest rates cannot affect the most. So we are looking at CPI, right? Sorry, other way around, right? So when the Reserve Bank raises interest rates, they cannot affect the prices of energy. They cannot affect the prices of food to bring those pricing down, right? Those are external volatile events. So when we look at whether inflation is coming under control, we're going to focus on the core CPI numbers, because that's the number that essentially leads to the Federal Reserve. Now, again, regardless of whether core or normal CPI, how they come out, a higher number than expected, right, is bad for the indices market and means that essentially will short the indices market. So I'll take profit and I'll start to open up some sells. A lower than expected number, so a lower than expected standard deviation. Now, a lot of you have asked me about this. What does that mean? We talk about standard deviation. It's a very common term, right? So if we look at, let's focus as an example, we're going to look at, let's say the CPI for month on month, or let's say the CPI for month, core CPI month on month for September. So it's expected to decrease by 0.5%. So the number we're supposed to get here is 0.5%, right? So it's still an increase, but the increase is only at 0.5%. Should we get a 0.4%, right? The standard deviation there is not high. But if we've got a 0.3%, 0.2, or 0.1, we've got a fairly high standard deviation number, meaning the markets react quite sharply. Inversely and oppositely, should we get a 0.5 or 0.6, it's in line with expectations and just slightly higher than expectations, and the standard deviation is not enough. So should we get on core CPI a 0.6 or greater, right, that is going to be negative for indices. If we get a 0.3 or less, that is going to be great for indices, right? I'm not feeling great. I might repeat myself a few times here this afternoon, but just obviously pay attention and stick with me, and you're welcome to ask on any questions that you might need. Maybe it's saying, don't go on holiday, it makes me sick. Yeah, we're not 100% sure. We think there's some sort of bug that's running around. We had a lot of seafood, a lot of oysters and crayfish and sort of silly things. So we think it's some sort of iron poisoning or sodium poisoning, the doctors say. But either way, we're trying to monitor it, and we're trying to make sure we get through it. However, today was just a very hectic day with meetings. From the time that before I saw you guys this morning until about 1:30 this afternoon, we were pretty much in meetings the whole day. So from the time I analyzed from about 6 this morning till that 1 o'clock mark, 7-8 hours behind the PC. So not the ideal way I like to do things in order to be fresh for the shows, but we obviously have to make some considerations. Now, I've gone back and looked at the data, and I can confirm that when it comes to consumer price index, as well as the core consumer price index, this has a big effect on the markets, right? And ultimately what we're looking for, and I'll show you what the Federal Reserve is looking for. You can see that we're sitting in this rising state. We get this rise, this impulse, we get a correction. Now, what could end up happening today, right, is we could get a greater than expected reading. We could get a % increase. That'll be hugely negative for indices. But again, we could also start to see that negative territory. Negative territory is where we want to be, both on core and just CPI in general, right? That's going to have the biggest effect on the markets this afternoon. So just looking at where we are, how do we protect ourselves and how do we deal with this from a trade perspective? Now, again, because if you held your trade from this morning, you should be in a position where we're holding a positive trade already. And just having a look at where we are from a bigger perspective, right? You guys will see that the first 6 months of this year, and this is what we've been speaking about quite heavily over the past couple of weeks, right? There is pre-2022, start of 2022 has been the worst performing 6 months. And at this point in time, worst performing 10 months of any year in, I believe, the last 20 years. Now, our goal is to try and beat out the 6-month low, right? The 6-month low is currently sitting at that 29,700 mark. So should we start to see a negative CPI number, negative meaning lower than expectation, it's going to be good for the stock market. Stock markets will then interpret that as potentially good, that Papa Powell will come in on the 3rd and the 4th of November with a less aggressive type interest rate increase. So that'll signal a positive thing for indices. It'll be a positive thing for commodities. So if you are a commodities trader, right, I don't think it's going to have as big of an impact on Brent, right? We've got this sideways market structure. Brent is retesting that very, very important $91, $92 per barrel. I don't think this is having a direct impact on Brent. Brent has got its own fundamental data in terms of OPEC cutting down the number of barrels produced per day by over 2 million barrels. So this has a bunch of different separate economic data sort of activities. But ultimately, if we have a look at where we are sitting from a gold perspective, I think the massive opportunity lies in gold, that if we can get through and breach that $1,700 to an ounce of gold, that would send gold through the sky, as well as, Brent could potentially follow. But again, if we start to get this data that gives us a weaker dollar, we could get that pullback on USD ZAR, right? So a weaker than expected number on CPI could result on a USD ZAR sell towards the downside. Now, again, this can be a little bit of a combination. And just a disclaimer, this afternoon can be very volatile. In the next minute, we're about to see a ton of volatility. Everything you're seeing right now is for educational purposes only, should not be taken as financial advice. And nothing about what we've done in the past should be indicative of future profits. So just because in shows we kill it so we make it, that is not indicative that we're going to do that in every show. So you need to understand that. Risk management in these situations is absolutely everything. If you trade these high volatility situations without a stop loss, I guarantee you once or twice you might make it, but you are ultimately going to blow out your account. You'll never see me trading and placing a trade and just leaving a trade without a stop loss, right? You cannot get to the point of trading being a full-time income without risk management. So that's just a disclaimer. You need to know that. You need to understand that. So we are going to wait for that data to come in. We are sitting around about a few seconds away from that data point. So let's go ahead and open up, and we want to look at where these data points come out, right? So we're going to looking at CPI as well as core, right? And all of them come out positive. And this is going to be really, really bad for indice markets across the board. So my trades are closed. Indice markets are going to continue falling. Massive spike down. So I've secured my profits and I'm selling off indice markets. Look at that sell. Markets are busy moving massively towards the downside. I'm in profit. I'm securing those trades because this could be a quick pullback, but ultimately I'm adding some positions towards the downside. Currently running in just over $3,000 in profit right now. My trailing stops, my stop losses are just into profit. Markets are pushing well over, let's see here, well over 1,600. Look at those trades. Look at those trades, guys. We're currently sitting in well over massive territory, $6,000. I'm closing up one of my trades here, closing up $1,500. I'm going to close up the $750 there. I've got a running trade of just over $3,000 there, sitting at $4,100. Massive CPI number. This is bad for indices as a whole. So massive sell-off as a whole. I'm keeping just one 20 lot position. I've secured all of my profits, and what I'm doing now is I'm looking at setting up a trailing stop. That is a massive push, guys, well over $5,000 right there on that position, and I'm going to be putting it at 5,000 points trailing stop. Look at that market move. That market is moving like an absolute machine, right? I need to adjust my trailings here. 5,000 points is way too small, so I'm going to be adjusting into the 15,000 points mark. Look at that move, guys. Look at that massive move there. We are currently sitting 3,000 pips into profit. Massive, massive, massive move. Remember, right? A positive CPI number is good for the dollar temporarily, meaning gold will sell, Brent will sell, USD ZAR, if you're still in that buy, will go up. But look at that massive trade, running $7,000 in profit, right? $7,200 in profit, and my trailing stop is kicked in and engaged there, right? We are currently sitting massive spike, 4,100 pips towards the downside. If you're making $1 per pip, that's over $4,000 right there on that single trade there. My stop loss is already engaged, and my stop loss is currently sitting at $5,600 regardless. So this market pulls back. Not only have I locked away $9,000 in profit, but then I'm closing up an additional $5,000 towards the downside. Now, I would like to potentially consider holding this long term, but I don't have multiple trades. So I'm closed out of that trade. I'm out of that trade. That was a good $6,000 right there. So that was 100,000 Rand made in the space of 180 seconds on that trade. So if you missed it, remember, high volatility. If you had a buy without a stop loss, your account would have been blown. You cannot afford to trade high impact news without a stop loss. There is a massive little trade there. Again, it's all about timing, and it's all about being prepared. When you see a big move, right, and you're unprepared, you are shocked. But when you are prepared, and I told you guys this today is going to be massive, then you are prepared and you can lock away those profits. That is what it is all about. Now, again, we had that massive buy side move. We caught the sell side move. We've hit our objective for today, but continue to study the markets, because I do believe that the CPI number is going to have a massive ripple effect across markets across the board. So NASDAQ, same story. We can see a massive 4,000 pip candle. Let's have a look at German 30. German 30 had a 2,500 pip candle. That's why I love US 30. US 30 had a massive 8,500 pips in the space of less than 3 minutes or so, right? So because I'm already out of this from a trailing perspective, again, where that floor is, I do not know, right? Again, this could have led to a way bigger long-term sell-off, but I can promise you there are people out there that have absolutely decimated their accounts from signals groups, right? People predicting where this thing could potentially end up going. Now, remember, I did say yesterday that because of that PPI, Producers Price Index, they generally pass on those costs to the consumer, which could be a higher than expected reading. But just getting into the data, this was a really, really higher than expected reading. Now, the job is not to predict the market. The job is to simply be prepared for when the market comes in. So even though standard deviation was not massive, right? Just have a look at how sensitive this market is right now. We were expecting an 8.1. It was an 8.2, right? We're expecting a 0.5. We got a 0.6. We're expecting, okay. So I think the one that was essentially a shocker was the CPI month on month for September. 0.2, we got double that, right? And core CPI 6.5, we got a 6.6. So again, that just shows you how sensitive this market is. Now, for those of you who've been trading for a couple years, you'll remember fundamental data with price action used to be like this many, many years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, one could trade fundamental data in line with price action, and that has all disappeared in recent history. We're starting to see those types of things come back. This market is super sensitive, and that is how one ends up capitalizing and making well over, a doctor's salary in the space of 3 minutes. A doctor spends 30 days to make what you could potentially make in 3 minutes. And remember, I didn't open multiple trades there. I didn't open, 5 trades there, which could very easily happen, right? It's just about the timing, being prepared and being in a position to obviously capitalize on those trades. Now, obviously, the big question is, how will the US Open react to that market, right? How will US react, US Open react to that data? Now, I have a lot of certainty that US 30 may even continue running. However, I've reached my profit targets not only for the day, but essentially until Monday or Tuesday. And that allows me time to rest. It allows me time to analyze, rethink. And again, when greed becomes a factor from a trading perspective, you will find your profitability will go down, right? But have a look at that candle, right? And you can say you were a part of it. I hope you guys caught some US 30 sell movements there. If you were too late, then I don't know what to tell you. But this was the opportunity. Again, like I said, being prepared, being ready, and being in a position to execute is the combination of things that when that opportunity arrives, you go ahead and obviously capitalize on that. Now, we are going to be, wow, as I'm saying, he caught it from the top. Aslam, you absolute machine. My brother, I'm super proud of you. That is what it's all about, right? And that shows experience, right? Again, you can be a part of the live shows, but when you're ready to pounce, when you know something is going to happen, you know something's going to be big, and you go ahead and grab it, that is what it is all about. Bang some pips, baba lol. Crazy, but super grateful for the knowledge. Orders all the way down. Well done. Also caught it from the top. Well done, Sherman. Well done, well done, well done. Guys, you know what? The reality is that is exactly what I was looking for this afternoon. The thing I was worried about was a long, drawn-out session that did not result in us making an immediate profit. And I'm glad we were able to execute and have this market move, right? That means we can take some time off. If you've caught this trade, it means you've essentially made your profit targets for the day, guys. 8,000 pips, right, in a move in one direction is nothing to laugh about, right? There's traders out there that essentially spend their whole month just trying to make 1,000 pips and post that online like, hey, 1,000 pips, whatever. Nothing. Small stuff, right? This is what we do on a daily basis. So that being said, guys, I'm not feeling 100% great. I do want to take this time to rest. I've reached my particular trading goals. And again, we're showing you what we do and not just what we teach, right? If you're not feeling great, if you've made your profit targets, if you've set your goals, if you're in line with your trading strategy, then you are in the perfect place that you need to be from a trading perspective, right? In a normal circumstance, I wouldn't have been in the session to take this trade because A, my health, my family comes before money. But in this particular case, we had a commitment. We have a commitment to every single one of you. I'm pretty sure after a decent amount of rest this weekend, I'll be feeling much better. We will get back to that same love and that same energy that we've experienced over the past couple of weeks. But at this point in time, I am still feeling under the weather. And I've really been asked to technically not be working this week. But this isn't work. I love what I do. I love trading. I love being with every single one of you. And that is what it is all about. I never want to see you guys let down. I never want to disappoint you. And that's part of just doing things the Globex 360 way. So guys, with that, I'm going to ask for grace this afternoon. I'm going to ask to spare me a longer session than what we need to. We've caught that massive move. I can see some of you have doubled your accounts with that one spike. I can see clients were saying, you've gone ahead and doubled your account, one spike. Your trailing stop, you made €33. Well done for that. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure Aslam smashed it. Still got to trade from the top open, trading stop. Let's have a see further. It will run down. Let's see. Molly says, do you send signals on Telegram? Please do so on WhatsApp. Molly, I am the signals. No, I joke. We are bringing in some amazing services in the next coming week that will send market structures directly to you in terms of what we're seeing in the market. That'll happen on a daily basis, and that'll be emailed to you on a daily basis. We will also put that within Telegram. Unfortunately, WhatsApp is too small for our community. There's a limit on WhatsApp groups. And so we obviously have the Telegram groups. We have multiple groups. We are still busy combining and building the Globex 360 family. We should eventually have, as we convert every person into one space, where we're trying to take, 100,000 people and put them in one space. It is something we're currently working on. But when you guys participate and you share the love, then that is what helps us to grow and expand this program to be what it ultimately can be. I've shared with a couple of you what the dream and the vision is that the executive team has for Globex 360 Live TV, and that is ultimately to have live TV, meaning from the start in the morning to the close of US markets at night, we essentially want to have live broadcasts with specialists in gold, specialists from the JSE, political news and analysts, as well as expert traders that can come in at different sessions, and you get to tune in whatever time of the day you want and see traders discussing the markets, taking trades, ask questions, and build one of the biggest and greatest trading communities within Africa. Just thinking about that, you know, makes my heart happy and gives me that energy that just makes me feel grateful. Thank you for being here. As always, guys, we've had a very, very successful CPI data release. Some of you guys have smashed it, and I'm super proud of every single one of you. If you're joining for the very first time, just put your hands up. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so that obviously we can be welcoming you to this amazing, and this is your family. This is what it's about. And again, I've said this before, Globex 360 Live TV is there for every single one of you. All right, listen guys, absolutely amazing. We've had a huge week, right? Again, we smashed NFP. We've smashed every single day this week. We've basically smashed every single day for the past 2 months, right? With the exception of 1 or 2 days. And I can promise you it's only going to keep getting better. Mpumelelo saying she's here for the first time. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and that way every morning, every time we go live for the free pounds of breakfast, you're notified. In the afternoons, you'll get the email to come and join us in our dollars for lunch session. So that is what it is all about. Tipple saying, ooh, sad that they missed it. Yeah, it was a big one. Look, we smashed PPI yesterday, we smashed CPI today, but please remember, we always have opportunities every single day. Remember that, right? So don't feel bad for missing out, but automatically, but always we will have opportunities every single day. Not every day is as big, because obviously the world is in a very funny place right now. That's why I say there's never been a better time to be a Globex 360 trader. I can just imagine Aslam's profits right now must be smashing it, because we are almost at the bottom end of those 7,500 pips to the downside, guys. If you're just making $1 per pip on these trades, you're talking about $8,000, 140, 150,000 rand. So Aslam is absolutely smashing it. I know Aslam doesn't like trading US30 so much, but I'm busy, you know, I'm busy working on him. I'm busy massaging it. He's seeing the magic. He's convinced me to spend more time on Brent, and I'm trying to convince him to spend more time on US30. So it's a win-win. That's what it's all about. But guys, listen, we have some of the most amazing clients, the most amazing community that is out there, and we are all part, and you guys make that all possible. So again, as always, share the love. You guys are welcome to tag me on social media as well as Globex 360, and you can find me on social media. I'll drop in my hashtag there, and if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can go ahead and smash that into social media. As always, you know, if you'd like to follow Globex, you can just go ahead onto any of our social media platforms. You can just search at Globex 360. You want to tag us anything, you want to tag us in profits, you want to ask me any questions, you're more than welcome. And then obviously my direct Telegram link is down in the description below. So if you see me on holiday, if you see me taking a break and a rest, then just know why that is. But until I see you guys tomorrow morning, I will be seeing you guys for pounds for breakfast tomorrow morning. I'm hoping to be a little bit more recovered and feeling a bit better, but certainly next week I'm looking forward to being full energy and full back into my old happy self. Guys, listen, thank you for making an amazing week. USD is still falling. I'm happy with my profits for today. I've taken what I need to. I think the market is starting to wonder, you know, who's this guy that's just smashing the markets? And guys, I'm just a retail trader, just like every single one of you. And ultimately, I'm looking and hoping for traders to go ahead and do so much more than I've ever done to make an impact in the markets and just change lives. And that is what it is all about. And again, just massive thanks and gratefulness to Globex 360 as a whole. So guys, outside of that, listen, I'll see you guys a little bit later. And the next time I'll be seeing you guys will be tomorrow morning at 08:45. And that'll be for the Pounds for Breakfast show. And until I see you there, guys, have an absolutely amazing market and have an absolutely amazing afternoon. Okay, until I see you guys a little bit later, see you all. And yeah, if you're in profits, send me those profits, guys. Share some love. Jeez, Like, we have to share. We got to, that's what it's all about. So see you guys all later. Goodbye. You guys are amazing.